Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm surprised to be able to give you another review quite so soon after the 1966 Batmobile from Jazz Inc. But here we are. This came in as a surprise from Hot Toys, specifically from Sideshow. This is from Hot Toys MMS 593 Batman Sonar suit from Batman Forever. I was expecting this around January, and yet here it is, and Robin is soon shipping. This is an unboxing review and messing around with this figure. So here we go. This is the front cover, very nice. This is a picture of the actual figure, not from the movie. That's how nice Hot Toys is. But here's the back. I've long ago started to get out of the Hot Toys business because it was too expensive, and I switched to 1/12 scale. But for the special figures like the DC stuff, I do still try to follow it as much as I can and buy some that I was interested in. So I purchased this one with the Robin figure, the Hot Toys Cyborg from the Justice League, just to complete the figure, and the 2022 or 2021 Batman from Matt Reeves. I don't know if I'm gonna like that, but I want to pre-order it. So here it is, taking off the slip cover. This is really an unboxing, so this thing is still taped up. So this is probably going to be another lengthy review. You guys will have to bear with me because it's an unboxing, so it's going to be another long one. And by now, if you have been following me or watching my previous videos, you know that I tend to be very extra careful when it comes to handling and opening my figures. These are the specs anyway. Some addresses. They used to have the sculptors included, but anyway. So let's see, is this a slip cover? Huh. I thought it is, but pretty sure it should be. But it's not slipping out. Okay. I don't want to force it, so I'm going to open it from the top. And just slide the figure from there. Going back to the box again, seeing if it's a slipcover or not. It's not moving, so I'm not gonna force it. It seems like a gray box inside anyway. Yeah, very noisy in those terms. I don't want to clutter my videos with music, so okay, before I show you the figure as it is, here is the, I guess, instruction sheets. Let's see. Perspective, purse eyes, movable eyes. Indicated areas are very sharp, which is probably the bat fins on his arms. Be careful when handling. There's some sort of accessory that can be rotated. There's how you remove the cape, the cowl and the eyes, and that's how you move the eyes. I'm sure as a Hot Toys follower, you probably know all about that already. Has some sort of thing in the gauntlet, I guess, that throw the batarang, a hand to hold the batarang, how to hold the batarang, how to move the eyes, and okay, seems like the eyes is a whole faceplate. So there you go. Okay, let's get to the figure. I see. So some sort of batarang here. An accessory for, that's probably the one that goes attached to the gauntlet. This is one for removing the eyes. It comes with 3 hands here, 4 hands here. It's equipped with 2 hands already, so an extra pegs for the hands, so be careful with this one. I don't know what this is. So this is the one that was putting on the wrist, I think. This is the eyes for the sonar for that particular scene. Okay. Something to do with the gauntlet, I suppose. Yes, I'm sorry, it's not focused. It's focusing on the star of the shows. The stars of the show, I should say. Be careful with this one. This seems to be some sort of batarang with a thin wire. The wire feels like it's metal. Okay, and it's attached in the back that way. Okay. Show you the 2 hands over here. Some sort of gripping hands. This is probably some sort of relaxed hands. It's very minor detail, but I'm sure it's very, very close to what it was in the movie, or how it is in the movie. I'm saying minor detail in terms of like not a lot of ridges or anything, but I mean, it's Hot Toys, so you'll see those stitching and all that stuff. That was the relaxed hands. I'm sure those 2 pairs go together. This one is probably for holding a few batarangs. I haven't seen Batman Forever for a long time, so I'm not sure what scenes this specifically goes to. I'm sure this one does go to a specific scene, throwing a particular batarang or some sort of device. So I'm sure those 2 hands go together. So this one, look at these 2. They look pretty much the same, except for the placement of this finger. There's 2 like this. The one on the left is like that, and then the one on the right is like this. Interesting. That's the difference between the 2. Going on to this one. Again, I do not remember which scene this is from. But there it is. I wasn't gonna get this figure, but anyway, I got it because it comes as a pair with Batman. Not the purchase, but the Batman and Robin. This is the only Robin from the movie, aside from Burt Ward, that exists in figure form. So I had to get the Robin, and if you're gonna get Robin, you had to get Batman. I thought this might scissor out, but it doesn't seem to. So I'm guessing this is the way it is. If you want to hold it in that form, and then you pretend that you open it, and the resulting form is this one. Okay, so don't try to open it up. I don't think it's meant to. And now, as for the figure, okay. I know from, I'm gonna do this Let's see. I know from the shots that this is going to be a rubberized body, and I have a few Hot Toys Batman that's rubberized bodies, and I know the experience of it. When you're pulling the cape, it's not tight in, but be careful, please. The cape seems like it's got some sort of texture on the outside, like a pleather texture. It does. So we're gonna go with the cape first, okay? There it has some. You can see it from the shine. It has some sort of texture, and then the inside is the actual texture of the cloth. It is just one cloth, so the way this is probably made is they created the cloth and then they had this sprayed on rubberized texture. Nice pleats on the cape so that it hangs. Alright, so let me just put this on the side first because I'm not concentrating on that yet. My goodness. Continuing the unboxing part. Plastic. Let's see here. This is the stand and the crotch grabber of the stand. That's it in this one. Let's see. Seems like, so let me put this away. The stick for the eye movement. Taking out the stand. Okay, seems this. So it's bad. It looks like it's a battery compartment on it. So in the olden days, these stands used to be equipped with lights, and they would have the LED lights here, and which is why you have the equipment, the battery compartment. They are no longer doing this. Hot Toys. Sorry, Hot Toys. You guys are big boys anyway. You guys have been cheapening out very, for the longest time. They used to be a company similar to what Jazz Inc. did. Hot Toys was known for it. From the very, very early on Hot Toys figures, when they became licensed, their figures were mind-blowingly complete. Like the Iron Man 3, the first edition, it had so many gimmicks on it. You're just blown away with how many options you have. The Batman stands used to have lights and all that stuff. And now, I mean, like, if you're not, then take it out, because take these out, right? You don't need to. We're just being reminded of what it used to be. Look, it even has the slot where they were gonna punch it for the on and off switch. But if you guys are new collectors to Hot Toys, you guys won't know anything about it, and I guess there's nothing to complain about. There it is. The paint is nice, very glossy looking on the surface. The outside is matte. Thank goodness they have at least the nameplate and it's not stickered on. Well, it is, but it's at least it's very, very shiny. And then it has the Riddler logo. We're gonna continue on now that I have the stand up and running. We're gonna continue on with the figure itself. There's the reveal for the face. Gonna close in really quick. I should have. All right, so here's a close-up of the face. Trying to see. Face is really dark. Trying to show off the eyes. But, I mean, that's the way it is in the movie. So all you're going to basically see in the eyes is kind of like the pupil. So it's very, 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 very hard to see. But obviously the likeness is there. Now, Hot Toys, you need to expect high quality from Hot Toys because in terms of sculpt and everything. It's a high production run company. You really don't want to see any flaws when it comes to Hot Toys and their figures. So unlike my review with the Jazz Inc. 1/6 Batmobile, where I'm more forgiving because it has a sense of personal touches, I don't expect that from this one. This one I kind of expect almost perfection. I still have some sort of leeway. Okay, so this one is so it's styrofoam to protect the fins. This is the Sonar Suit Forever suit. I was hoping for the earlier version of the suit. I would have preferred that, honestly, but this is what they gave us. I'm not going to get two different sets from this movie. It's a good enough representation of this figure. Let me just pause really quick. Alright, so I just removed the plastic on this one off camera. I'll do it again here because it was easy enough. And then just put it back on. Okay. So this is a rubberized suit. It looks the way it is in the film. Okay. Okay, so it looks pretty much the way it is in the film. It looks very, very nice. The cape, it's not wired, but it drapes very nicely. Just, whoa, okay, so, that's kind of weird. The way, why did they do that? I don't even know if this is meant to be like this or not, or if it's just stuck together. So I'm not gonna push it on my copy because I'm gonna have to wait other reviewers. This is kind of scary for me. I haven't seen any new reviews on this one. So I was referring to the cape having two different textures, right? This is what the regular cape looks like in this one. Now what seems to be happening is mine is attached to the other side. It's attached so well, I'm not sure if it's meant to be attached, or unfortunately with this type of spray painting or texturing of the cloth, if they don't let it dry properly, or if they don't put something on it, it tends to stick, especially on hot weather, hot climate. It sticks to each other. So I'm not sure if that's what happened with mine, or if it's meant to be separate, because this is basically, look at what's going on right now. It's attached here, attached here, and then it's doubly attached here. So basically there's 4 layers attached together here. Be very, very careful. If you do intend to open it up, I would do it slowly. I'm not sure if this is meant to be like that. I'm gonna move it closer, because I do see some sort of tape. Can you see that reflecting? There's a strip of tape, seems to be right here. And if you do decide to pull it, you'll start to notice that it might pull some of the material here. That's basically as far as I'm gonna take it until I see another review on it. That's weird though, because what it does is it creates this pattern because it's so thick. So I'm assuming if you want to display it, you'll display it like that. Okay, so I'm gonna say it's meant to be like that. So do not pull at those until you see somebody on YouTube, a reviewer, decide to risk it on their copy, because that's as far as I'm willing to risk it, to open it like that. It seems like there's a tape there, so I think it's meant to be, which is ridiculous because you have like 4 folds here. So I think it's meant to be draped in the back, the cape, like so. That is the first time I've seen that happen. But then again, I've been out of the Hot Toys business for years. The last figure, like I said, that I purchased was probably from the Justice League figures. So it's weird in that it's forcing you, the way they design it, it's forcing you so that the figure is posed with the cape in a certain way, draped over the back, and seems like you, I really don't like that. I don't like the uncertainty of how this thing is done like that. I'll tell you why I don't like it. The cape. Because I already know as a rubbery suit, you're going to be mostly forced to have a static A stance on this figure. Because this is rubber. Eventually, if you keep it locked into a position, that rubber will crease, and the longer it stays in that position, the longer it will damage the rubber. So when it comes to rubberized figures like this, you want to keep it almost like a static figure, static pose. The reason I purchased this is because, like I said, I want to finish the Batman and Robin set. So it's up to you if you want to. In terms of the looks, it's very, very close to the movie, where the paint application, the paint color, the choice of the paint color, the choice of the shininess, that's very, very accurate to the movie. However, in toy form, it feels so... it does not feel very good. It feels so cheap. There's a sense of tackiness to the costume. I don't know how this is going to react in warmer or even hot climate. So it's up to you if it's worth it or not. Before I review on the boots, let's go with the articulation. Obviously, this is not going to move because there's no joints in the neck. There is a little bit of a give. I would not move it. And if you do, I would lift it a little bit, set it. That's what I would do. Because you don't want to be rubbing this to that. It's going to cause paint rub, damage your paint. So that's what I would do, is lift it a little bit so you have a little bit of space. Move the piece to how much you want and then put it back. That's how much I would move the head. It's enough of a tilt to do whatever you want. So very minimal movement, as you can see. I would judge from the space on the top of the bat emblem to how much movement I'm able to give this figure. When you receive your figure, you can move it as much as you want, but I'm very careful with mine. So this is how much it'll move. As you'll notice, I lift it, I'll move it a little bit, and God, millimeters. I can't tell the difference. It's millimeters of a change. It's a little bit better side to side. Lift a little bit, and that's it. Put it back in again. Okay. As for the arms, for the shoulder, It seems there's some sort of ratchet. Oh, not for the shoulder. There's no ratchet going up. You can force it up as much as that. It's gonna fight back because there's no ratchet. Wow. Okay. And for moving forward, yay. Hot Toys, man. That's the rubber's thicker than what I'm used to. I'll do a comparison with my other rubber figures. Funny enough, the elbow is ratcheted. So one, that's ratchet resting. 1, 2, very soft on the third, and 4, a little bit stronger. That's what you're going to be dealing with when you're doing rubber. I would do 4. Any more, you're probably forcing the ratchet to be fighting the rubber so much. Even if you are able to click it, it's just going to go back down immediately. And if you force it, you might actually damage the ratchet. 4 ratchets from resting. Was it 4 or 3? Do the other side. And see. The crease is sculpted in, so that kind of helps hide it a little bit. Resting. 1 soft ratchet, 2 softer ratchet, 3 ratchets, I'm sorry. That's it. Don't go to 4th. Rotation. There is rotation at the bicep. It's a little bit stronger, so it's able to hold it, so it's not fighting back to its natural state. And that's basically it. Then the wrist goes like so. Very soft wrist. And it does go up and down. The waist, I don't expect anything from the waist because these two, even though there's a seam line, it's joined. I would not force it going sideways. You're stuck like that. Let's see. There is movement on the front, but there's no ratchet again, so he's just gonna fight back. Yeah. So even those articulation on the front and back, forget about it. There's no ratchet. Plastic rubber. The rubber suit is just gonna fight you back to its original position. Same thing with sideways. There's no ratchet. It's gonna fight you back to the original position. There's nothing. Forward. Again, no ratchet system on the hips, the hip joint. So if you're willing to see that, that's basically it. And A stands, that's as much as wide as you're gonna go. Because again, the sculptor, the material and the sculpture is gonna fight you. Okay. Nope. Okay, let's go for the knee. The knees do not have ratchets again, but it's very stiff joints. So you're gonna see that much. Swivel on the boots. And again, stiff, no ratchets, stiff enough that it will hold that position, but it has articulation here. It has articulation at the hips, but why? What's the use for it? If you're gonna do that anyway, he can't sit, and that much movement. See, so and then yeah. Can you guys feel the disappointment? Okay, disappointment would be the wrong word for me. Um, what would be the right word? Knowing that the material is rubber, knowing from the past experiences that it's going to limit articulation, knowing that as you force the joint into a more angled position, it's going to distort the sculpture of the rubber piece, and knowingly purchasing the product wouldn't be a disappointment. You expect it to act like the way it's acting, but I still purchased it. So it's not disappointment that I'm feeling. It's more like me hitting myself in the head for purchasing it, and for purchasing it and receiving a product exactly as I expected it to be. So I mean, the only thing I didn't expect was the cape, because that's the first time I've experienced that, where it forces you to, for the cape to be like that. Okay, so here's a quick comparison. This is the 1989 Hot Toys Batman Keaton, the first release. Um, was this released before The Dark Knight? Shoot, I can't remember anymore. You guys will have to deal with that or figure that out. Oh, I'm sorry. This is zip tied to make sure that the hands can stay as close to the body as I can. I did this knowing it's going to be safe because it's actually connected to the hard plastic of the gauntlet. Can I release that for you guys? Yes. Just going to do this really quickly. Okay, so to make a point, this is the first, I think this is the first time they did the rubber. You know what? Maybe they did this one first. Okay. So I was kind of hoping, as you can see, my rubber suit, it's pristine. There's no damage or anything, but they've all been stationary. I don't really pose them as much because I know it's going to damage the rubber if I do. But I know what to expect from the rubber. Okay, you really can't pose it. So I do have some experience on it. The reason why I said this, I thought this was the second release, because I felt as if they learned something from that, because this rubber feels thinner than the one that's on the Keaton Batman. Seems more flexible. As you can, there's no ratchet on this elbow, and yet it's able to hold the shape. It felt as if when they constructed this, there were spots of thicker rubber and thinner rubber, so that you have a little bit more articulation. And I thought they learned that from the Keaton Batman. Okay. So like I said, there are no creases on my suit. I don't live in a high humidity climate. I live in California, so my suits have lasted for quite a while. And because my Batman has been on an A stance. Where did this one come from? Oh, from Keaton. Having this on an A stance will basically fit the whole lineup. I purchased him because the figure does look impressive standing straight like so. It is only when you try to move it to get to a different pose that the limitation of the figure presents itself. And for $300, for $300 to purchase something like this, I will leave it up to you if it's worth it or not. Once I have Batman and Robin together, it will be more impressive, but they're just gonna be static. So you know what, I think what really okay, an addition to my review, I don't know how to put in a splice in the promotional pictures in this one, right? So you guys will have to look for it. But there's a pose that they did on this figure where when it has both arms raised. I'm gonna try to emulate it on my figure, and that's impossible to do. This one was raised up to here, that angle. It holds the pose, but you can force it, but mine will go back because this stretch in this one and how much tension is putting in this one. But with theirs, it's able to hold it. And then they have the figure like so, the hand like so, and then they have the opposing hand or arm in a similar position. So they on the promotional video, they're using a different kind of rubber. I guarantee you, because the way this thing is raised, this thing goes inside. It distorts the sculpt. Wow. Okay. How do I put this in words? I knew the limitation of the plastic material because of my experiences in the rubber suits. However, the disappointment and the anger I'm feeling is because knowing what I've experienced in the past and seeing the promotional pictures of this figure seems misleading on Hot Toys' part, because there are poses in the picture you cannot perform with this figure. You cannot. And have it look the way the promotional pictures does. You will not be able to. Let me see if I can do it with this figure. Okay. Here it is. So the promotional picture has the figure lifting the arm similar to a little bit more higher than this. You see this crease that's being formed in this rubber? That appears in the promotional picture. And that's how it was able to make this pose. And I'm sure that their figure has ratcheted shoulders. I'm not going to force it because as you can see, it's really distorting the rubber in mine. I'm going to do that pose again with this figure. You're not going to be able to do that because the way this thing is, there's nothing. I mean, this is me forcing it now. This shape in this shoulder is not going to allow you to hold this pose for long. And since there's no ratchet, it's just going to go down. I do feel ratchet. It's very, very soft. And you can force it, but that's as high as it goes. and it's slowly going down. That's just wrong. Wow. Okay. So and then the other one, the other promotion they have, this is with in conjunction with one of the with I think with this one, with this accessory. It has both of these arms forward facing like this. There's no way you can do that. Come on, man. Wow. There's no way, dude. This rubber is constructed differently. The suit is constructed differently from what they have in promotional pics. On the promotional picture, this shoulder plate seems like it's a different material. Not different, but a different construction that's put on top of this this body, which allowed it to move forward. They didn't do that. It's just one piece molded plastic. I can't go on anymore. You guys, when you guys receive yours, you'll see what I mean. The only good thing I'm seeing in this one is it seems it's able to put the hands down, while with Keaton I have to fight it. When you receive your copy, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is false Hot Toys. You should not be doing that on a picture, promotional picture, and then produce a copy that cannot accurately do the same pose you're showing on a picture. If you can't do it like that, then don't pose it like that. It's obviously a different material. If you guys are on the fence in terms of buying this figure, and if you had experience with rubber bodies, on top of the disappointing articulation that you expect from this figure, also add to your expectation and expect the fact that Hot Toys did not construct this body suit similar to how they're portraying it on their promotional pictures. The reason I say that is because they did not follow the same construction, you are not going to be able to pose this figure similar to how it's presented in the promotional pictures. Do not expect that. It does not have that range of movement. It was only based on those pictures that I thought this might have more give than what I'm seeing. That's why I was really hoping that they had made the material much better in the suits. You're not going to be able to make any of these poses. Let me swivel this. I don't want to do this because it's ridiculous that I'm having to do this. That pose, can't do that. That pose, you cannot do that. You can't do that pose. For the arms, okay? You can do this pose. Can I do that pose? Let's see. Can I do that pose at least? Push back a little bit. I'm not doing this to make it look bad, okay? I'm really not, because I really do want to like this figure. I'm just presenting to you what I'm feeling as I'm manipulating this figure. This kind of give is because the material is too thick. It's a different material. I know it's an ugly, but I want you to compare the crease that's occurring on this elbow to their elbow. Then I want you to look at how this thing is shaped compared to how theirs are shaped. It's more rounded. Mine is now flattened because it's connected to the suit itself. I'm gonna stop the review at this point. I think I've pretty much beaten the dead horse repeatedly. Alright guys, thank you for watching. That's it for my review of the Hot Toys MMS 593 Batman Forever Sonar suit. Once Robin comes in, I'll review that and then I'll have them side by side together. This pair cost me $580. Is it worth it or not? Not worth it for the price that it's priced for, because of how much different it is from what was promoted, because of how much different its capabilities are in terms of posing on what was promoted. The promotional pictures had limited articulation. That was to be expected. And if you were experienced with rubber suits, you know what to expect. That even if you pose it, eventually you want to put it in an A pose. You expect all that stuff. But to have such a limited articulation compared to what was promoted in pictures, that's like from 90% expectation of what you were gonna get, going down to like 65% to what you're actually getting. So from my review is that this is not worth $255 because of the disappointment of the articulation. I would downgrade it to like 180, to be honest. If you guys wanted to complete your Batman movies characters, then this is the only option for you. There are model kits out there that are smaller proportions. They will not fit your Hot Toys collection. So you're kind of stuck to getting this because you're not offered anything else. You're kind of stuck to getting this and the Robin figure. It's not worth $580. If it was a statue, if a statue was offered, it would be a better value than this because the suit will eventually degrade. A statue won't, unless you break it, unless you fall, in which case that's just mishandling. That's on your part. But a statue would have been a better deal if it was offered at the same price, because it's not moving anyway. You're not gonna be able to get any kind of pose in this thing. The only reason you want to get this figure is because you want to complete it, because you want Val Kilmer's version, because you grew up with it, because this is your ideal Batman, because of nostalgia. That's the only reason you want to get this figure, and because you want to finish your Batman movies, Hot Toys. Anything else, if you can get it, the set for 300 to 400, then get it for both Batman and Robin. If you can get it for $300, $400, that would be a better deal. There it is. Thank you for watching.